Good afternoon. Well, we're continuing our series on breeding boas, and I figured I would document everything that happens. So all the little tidbits that I can think of, everything that I think is of interest. Oh, here, daughter got me this shirt. Pretty nice, huh? Get it? Fa Thor. Anyways, the next thing that happens when you introduce your males to your females is the male and or the female seem to get a disproportionately high number of them that go into a shed. So this is a good indication. This lets you know that the cycle is continuing, and the female in particular, if she goes into a shed when you put the male in, that next cycle is likely the cycle when she is most likely to ovulate. So she is probably already developing egg follicles. The stimulus of having the male present in the cage is going to continue that process. Female's going to go into a heavy shed, heavier than normal. If you catch her while she's fully opaque, it'll seem especially cloudy. And then when she sheds, then hopefully the male continues or begins with gusto, doing what comes natural to males or for males, and continuing the cycle. So I'm going to show you a number of examples. I'm just going to run around and show you I've got a lot of animals that are opaque now. I started putting everything together about 3 weeks ago is when I first started putting males in. Didn't get the last of them in until about a week ago, approximately 5 days, 6 days. And so I've got a lot of animals that have gone opaque, male and females. Got a few breeding. Maybe I'll throw a couple of instances where the male is trying to breed, but mostly I'm going to show you animals that are opaque, getting ready to go into that next cycle, when the next cycle is the cycle that's probably going to be the cycle when they're going to ovulate. So hopefully ovulate if I play my cards right. So let's continue. Flip this camera around so we can look at that. Look at that. It's like almost seamless the way I did that, isn't it? Anyways, I'm going to flip the camera around and we'll check out somebody else and see what's going on. So here's one right here. No, I might have to change a setting here to get the light to come on, or go get my light. I'm going to go get my light. So this girl's opaque. I'm going to get my light and continue on. Hang on. All right, so this is a proven super hypo labyrinth. She is opaque. Just put the male in with her about 3 weeks ago. And I pulled them all and fed them once as well. I don't know where he is. Oh, he's back there. He's opaque too. So not quite as thick in opacity, if that's a word, as she is, but she's beginning that cycle, and hopefully this next cycle, or this next cycle after she sheds, will be the one when he gets the job done and then she ovulates. So that, I would anticipate that wouldn't be for about 2 months. So probably mid-January, toward the end of January. So let's continue on. Now this is a very large IMG labby. The first one I ever produced, actually. She's about 10 years old. She is het anery and pos het sharp, and she shows no sign of going opaque. She's a big one, about 8 feet. Only bred one time, so she is not hasn't taken anything out of her because she's only had one small litter. And the male that I'm trying to breed with her is an anarthristic labby, and he hasn't gone opaque either. So it'll be a while before this girl goes for me. So here's another one. This is another proven hypo labby. She is fully opaque. Pretty big one. She is proven. She made the double het. Not the double het, but the het calls. Het call labbies I made. And this male is a VPI fire male. And he is opaque. So we're expecting great things from these two. We'll see what happens, right? And this girl's opaque. This is a Hypo Key West Labby. So this one's 7 or 8 years old. Never bred her. Beauty, huh? Beauty in, beauty out. That's what I always say. Well, I said it today anyways. So she's fully opaque. And behind her, I've got an Inca, and they're actually a motley Inca. So we'll see what happens. And either they're not going to make anything of a simple recessive nature, but they should make some really cool labbies and hypo labbies and numerous combos. So we'll see. And this is a very much opaque Key West ghost. Not a real obvious Key West ghost, but she is. Pretty good size one. And I just put a male in with her, and she is very opaque. And there's a little guy that hopefully will get the job done. He's a 18, maybe 20-month-old animal. He's opaque too. So we'll see. We see these two together. It's pretty comical because he is so stinking tiny. And this is a labby. Het VPI. She's opaque. And I have in with her a carbon proven het VPI. And he has tried a little bit. Enough to get her to go opaque, I guess. But I have high hopes for this. This is one of my most important breedings this year. So we'll see what happens. Then this is an opaque, sharp Sunglow IMG female. She has got one of the world's only sharp labyrinths on her. And he is working her a little bit. Takes the little guys a little while to get into gear. This is about a 5.5 foot female. So the little guy is about a little over 3 feet. And she is fully opaque. We'll see what happens. This is an IMG het VPI. And she has a VPI Aztec on her. He's been working her hard. She's fully opaque. You can see it. Hopefully something will happen here in the next couple of months, and he'll get the job done and she'll ovulate. Here we have a call Sunglow Jungle. And she is with a Hypo Labby het call IMG. She's fully opaque. Seems to be glad to see him. He hasn't figured out that she's a girl yet, but we got time. Lots of time. So let's keep moving on here. This is a male fire. He is very unpredictable. So this isn't one I raised from a baby. So I got him as a bigger animal, probably close to 5 foot, which is unusual for a male for me. And he is with a scoria, the only scoria I own. Couldn't think of what to breed with a scoria that would be interesting. She is fully opaque, and hopefully he will find her attractive when she sheds in the next week or 10 days. And maybe we'll make some scoria fires. Scoria fires, hat for nothing. Should be fun. Neither of these two are opaque yet, but I thought I'd show them anyways. So this is a Labyrinth double het blood sharp, and this is a sharp Sunglow het blood, and she is proven. Bred her last year. She made 2 sharp blood labbies, and he has been chasing her around, so hopefully something good will happen. She's about 5 foot. So these aren't opaque either, but she did just shed about 4 days ago. There's a hypo labby het anarthristic, and she is breeding with a Key West Aztec anery. He really seems to like her, so this could be a cool combo. Make some cool ghost labbies with Key West and/or Aztec. So looking forward to that. We'll see. There's another IMG labby. This one is an IMG labby motley. She is het anarthristic, and she is with an Aztec anery. Should be a cool one. She seemed to be glad to see him. Went opaque right away. We'll see. Here's another labby breeding. This is an anarthristic labby female. She is fully opaque. And this is a blood. And he has not shown any interest yet, but she has gone opaque, which is a great sign. I did see him on her once, but I didn't see any actual scraping of the spurs. But the season is young. This is another young couple. This is a very much opaque anarthristic labby female. She's about 5 foot. And with her is a leucistic or superfire. And he was produced by Randy Silverman. So he is either het anery or he is anery. We can't tell. He might be anarthristic. So he's at least het anery, and he's also a possible IMG. Can't tell that either. He's all white. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here with these two, but the little guy's got to figure it out here before too long. There's a pair of Peruvian red tails. These are, this female is a mother of some of the Bacano or patternless Peruvian red tail boas that I proved out here 2023. And the male is also a het. And he's going at it, and she is not gone opaque, so it'll be a while. They didn't ovulate. I got 4 of those females gravid, and I got 2 good litters with Bacanos from those 4 breedings. The other 2 had very, very small litters, so they didn't prove one way or the other. But this male proved, and this female proved, and he is working it hard. So he did last time too. He started at the beginning of October, and this time he's doing the same. So I don't anticipate an ovulation for 3 or 4 months, maybe 5 months. They took 6 months last time, so we'll see. Now, going opaque is not a guarantee that they're going into cycle. So these are Peruvians, same litter, fully opaque. Doesn't guarantee that they're going into a cycle, but it at least shows some possibility. So I've got this cage set up. This is a 4-foot cage with a shelf with 2 females in it. And there's a hole. And one of these females lives on this side. But during breeding, I open it up so they can all get together, so the male can decide who smells the best. So who's most likely to be fertile, because I can't smell it. So usually you just end up putting pairs together and hoping for the best. But I've found that this can work sometimes if I have one male in particular I need to breed, and I have more than one female I would like him to breed. I'll put 2 of them together. Gives him the opportunity to decide which one he wants to breed the most. And in this case, it's that one down there, and she is opaque. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. That is a VPI Snow Nexus from the second litter of them. Second litter of Nexuses. And this is a Key West Blood possible het VPI. So it'd be nice if he proved to be het VPI. If he doesn't, that's okay, because the resulting babies, if I get some, will be Nexus and Key West Nexuses, and then normals that are all triple het. Tap him on the nose. All triple het blood, type 1 anery, and VPI. She is fully opaque. So hopefully after she sheds, the smell and the attraction for her will be overwhelming, and this little guy will get to work. Make me some puppies. Here we have a hypo blood female, and she is looking around all the time. She is not opaque. Touch her with the camera. She is not opaque and hasn't gone opaque, but he did just shed. And he has not done a lot. So I saw him on her once, but you gotta try more than once to break down a female. It's a long-winded, laborious process to get a female boa constrictor to breed, as you know, if you've been doing this any length of time. But it's weeks and weeks, usually months, before the female will actually let the male breed. And male is a blood labyrinth. So these should be all bloods, and half of them will be blood labbies, and half of those will be hypo blood labbies. Haven't made a hypo blood labby yet, so we'll see. This is an IMG labby, het VPI, pos het anery. And the male is a ghost het VPI. And they're both opaque. Female is almost clear. They're both opaque. He's tried a little bit, so hopefully he'll kick into gear after she sheds and he sheds, and hopefully we'll end up with a cool litter. We'll see. You never know. It's like life is a box of chocolates. And this is another Labby IMG het VPI, also possible het anery. And she's got a jungle ghost het anery on her. She just shed. There's the skin. And he's going into a shed. And he has tried a little bit. The season is young. We'll see. This is a Key West jungle from my infamous litter of het and double het jungle aneries, which weren't supposed to be jungle, but lo and behold, they were jungle. So this is the first jungle Key West anery ever produced. She's like 8 or 9 years old now and has not produced for me yet, but I'm still trying. And this male is an IMG Motley het anery. So I'm hoping for a cool litter. He hasn't tried yet, and she is not opaque in this particular instance. Look at how dark those Key West eyes are. Whoops. Hey, I was talking here, girl. Come on, show your eyes. Her eyes are just about black. Something you get with Key West, especially the older they get, the darker their eyes get. IMGs, of course, have very dark eyes. IMG Motley het anery and an anarthristic jungle Key West. This is the biggest girl in the house. It's a big paradise girl from the first litter of them. I think she's 12 or 13, maybe 14 years old now. She's very big. Pushing 9 feet probably. Got some fresh urids here. And she is with a hypo labby het sharp. And she has had a big drink of water. We'll do a video on that here when it starts happening more often. She is really chunked out, and about half of the babies in this litter will be visual. Half of them will be sharp, half of them will be paradise, and half of each of those should be labby. And half of the normals should be labby as well. So, and those will be labby parahet pair of het equivalents, whatever you call those. So het, I didn't think of a fancy name for them. So they'll be either het prodigy or het sharp. You just won't know which are which. Generally, het sharps are not as pretty, and het prodigies are really, really pretty. So that's the only way I would know to kind of make an educated guess on them when they're born. And then if they're labby, all bets are off, because labby makes everything beautiful, right? That's right. And then just one more pairing to show you. And this is my only double het carbon VPI female. Got her from Anthony Fomaseth. He got her from Kenny Saito, the Carbon King. And this male is a hypo labby het carbon pos het VPI. So he is the brother of those that Blake Gilliland bred and proved that their sire father, a carbon, is het VPI. This female is fully opaque, and she is really chunked out. You might even be able to kind of see a hint of it there on the left. But she was, she's about 5 feet, maybe a little over 5 feet, but kind of lean for that length, you know, healthy lean. And she is really chunking out. So this one is going to ovulate probably 6 or 7 weeks after she sheds, and I'm really looking forward to the babies from this breeding. This would be really, really exciting for me. Hopefully he's had VPI. If not, I'll have to be satisfied with labby or hypo labbies that are carbon. At least one out of, what would it be? It's only be 1 out of 8 will be both carbon and labby. She won't have too many more than that. She might have, between 12 and 18 babies, something like that for her age and size. But we're looking forward to that. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Kind of illustrates the point that the animals oftentimes, after the introduction, will go into shed. And then after they shed, that next cycle is the cycle when you're going to see some really significant swelling and the ovulation. So that happens most of the time in that next cycle. Sometimes there will be another shed, and it won't happen until the following cycle. But most of them will be early on, so I expect that we'll probably start having babies around the 2nd week of April. That's the ones that go through that first cycle. Most of those will be born by the middle of May, and then there'll be additional litters that come after that. But anyways, thought I'd show you that. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like it, comment on it, and subscribe. It helps the algorithm and helps us get more exposure so more people watch the videos, so I get more encouragement to make more of them. Takes me time. All right. Thank you much. Have a good one.